We have all of our board members present, either on Facebook or either present. Thank you. Mr. Edwards, you are listening. Mr. Edwards, you're part
Yes,
of our
sir.
meeting.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
On Zoom.
Zoom, okay, not Facebook.
Right.
Zoom. Thank you. Probably just alluded to. Let me this time call our meeting to order. Certainly want to thank all of you for attending. To our board members, good seeing you this evening. Glad to have you to be a part of our meeting. All are present besides Mr. Edwards, who is zoomed in listening to us and will participate in our meeting. At this time, this is a meeting of the Northampton County Board of Commissioners. This is a meeting that takes place twice a month, that we might take care of the business of Northampton County. So tonight it's a pleasure again to present to you an agenda that we have before you. And before we begin on that agenda, we hope that everything on our agenda attests to our mission statement. There's a mission statement on the wall behind me. I would not read it to you, but let it be known that we want to adhere to our mission statement. But without our mission statement, sometimes we can go off on another tangent. But because we have our mission statement, we know our purpose for being here tonight. Likewise, we, the commissioners, have a vision statement that's listed behind me. Again, we're going to do all we can to grow and prosper our county. We're going to do all we can to provide the very best services we can. We're going to do that with looking at the future, what the future holds for us. We're going to be looking at the facts, and the facts will dictate to us what will happen to Northampton County in years to come. At this time, I would like for us to take a moment of silence when I begin to look at all the things that's going around, that's around us, that's going on, even in this United States. We know that the floods, the waters have flooded Louisiana and Mississippi and other parts of the South. We also understand that with that, we have fires in California. We just know that a lot of things are going on. We're fortunate here in Northampton County today that we don't have that kind of weather here. So I do want to take a moment of silence. Also, in doing this, I'd like for these commissioners and those who are present to take just a few moments to let's reflect back on the life of Vernon Carter, who was our commissioner here for 20 years. We do want to pray for. We want to say something and to whoever we serve about to their family, to the Lord, that the family would be upheld and that we would encourage the family. So before I mess up and go any further, let us just have a moment of silence. Thank you. We do know that we live in the best place in the world, and if you would to stand with me as we do the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much. At this time, we do have an agenda before you, board members. We ask that you would certainly look now at that agenda. That agenda is the same agenda that was emailed or sent to you. And we hope that you have seen it, looked at it, the agenda, and all the information has been sent. If there be anything that you like to include or exclude, we would entertain it at this moment. Board members, are there anything that you want to include or exclude? Speak now and let us know. We will abide by the approval. If not, then could I have a motion from one of the commissioners that we would approve the agenda as given for September 8th, 2021?
Yes, so moved, Chairman Bennett.
Moved by Commissioner Boone.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Faulkner, that we would accept the agenda as given. Are there any questions or any discussion? If not, all in favor, let it be known by usual sign aye.
Aye. Buffalo. Faulkner.
Aye.
Ayes have it, motion is carried. Thank you, board members, so much. At this time, we do know that we cannot have any conflict of interest. And in accordance with the rules of procedures adopted by the board in section 153A44 of the North Carolina General Statute, it is the duty of every member present to vote on all matters coming before the board, unless there is a conflict of interest as determined by the board or by law. Does any board member have a conflict of interest with respect to any agenda item coming before the board today? If so, please identify the conflict and the board will consider the matter. Ms. Buffalo, you have any conflict?
No conflict.
Mr. Evans, any conflict?
No conflict.
Commissioner Boone, any conflict?
No conflict.
Vice Chair Faulkner, any conflict?
No conflict.
No conflict. Thank you so much. At this time, board members, at this time, I'd like to turn this over to our county manager, our consultant at this time, Mr. Bob Murphy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I'm here really just very briefly to introduce the first two resolutions that you have on your agenda this evening for consideration. Sometime back, the commissioners engaged the firm Davenport and Company to help y'all with certain anticipated bond issues. And then really as a part of that work, one of the things they did asked us if we thought it would be a good opportunity to take a look at, in addition to looking at new debt, also to look at the possibility of looking at refunding some of your existing debt. And that's a good thing to take a look at in light of the lower interest rates of today against some of the higher interest rates against which you might have taken out the original debt. So to make a long story short, they did that. I think I made you all aware of their work in a memo a while back. And tonight really is the first step that y'all will take in these two resolutions. There will be some follow-up action. But what y'all will be doing this evening is considering two resolutions, one for the county debt and one for the Germsburg Sewer District debt, refunding both existing debts. The resolutions are kind of technical in nature, I guess. They approve certain preliminary findings, authorize the application for approval from the local government commission, and also award bid to potential banks. And what Ted Cole of Davenport will do this evening for you is to kind of go through all of the details of the refundings and the process that the county and Davenport went through in soliciting bids for the financing. So we'll be back again later in the month for yet other action to finalize this. But tonight, as I said, is kind of the preliminary step. We're very encouraged by the bids we received for the refundings, and I think you will be too when you hear Mr. Cole's presentation. So without any further ado, let me introduce Ted Cole of Davenport and Company.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
Pleasure to be here. I appreciate it. I believe that the materials that I'm going to talk through are included in your agenda packet. And it's an overview of the RFP process that we went through, as Mr. Murphy just described. And I'm not sure what page numbers you're looking at, but I believe you should have a page that starts with overview in the header. Do we have that? If not, I have hard copies. They're the resolutions. These will complement the resolutions that you'll consider here in a bit. Okay, and so please stop me if you have any questions. There are page numbers in the lower right corner. So the first thing I'd like to cover is the overview. And as Mr. Murphy said, we're looking at a number of loans. These are bonds or loans that the county has taken out over the years for various purposes. It might be utility related, might be school related, what have you. And there's actually been two issuers. One of the issuers was the Northampton Germsburg Sewer District. There's one loan we're looking at that we could refund for that district. And that's separate than the county, even though you all are the board for that district. It's a small loan. I'm talking off of number one on this page. There's only about $330,000 outstanding. It has a current interest rate of 5%, and it pays off in 2039. So we're going to handle that one separately, and there'll be a separate resolution for you all to consider for that loan. At some point this evening, you'll, I believe, recess the county board meeting. You'll go into a district meeting, consider taking action. You'll adjourn that meeting, and you'll go back to the county meeting and finish your business. On the county side, we looked at 5 different loans, and they're in a chart there. These were issued for water, for schools, for various purposes. You can see what the name of the bond is in the chart on the left. You can see what the final maturity is for each of those, what the existing interest rate is for each of those. And we've asked the banks for 5 different options, and the checkbox includes which of these loans is included in the option. So option 1, as an example, only included 2 loans. Option 2 included 1 loan, and so on. Option 5, which is ultimately what we're going to be recommending for you all to consider, assumed all 4 loans to be refunded, in addition to the 1 loan that the district has outstanding. We put together a request for proposal. We worked with your staff. We worked with the county attorney and your bond attorney to put that request for proposal together. It went out. We contacted bidders, answered questions. Staff was very helpful in that process. And at the end of the day, we received on September 2nd, 6 different proposals for the county request and 2 proposals for the Germsburg request. If you go to the next page, the top section shows you the 6 different banks that submitted proposals for the county request. You can see the name of the bank, what their prepayment language was, and I'll explain that in a moment. And you can also see what the interest rate was that they quoted for each of the 5 options. And we've highlighted green, the key governmental finance proposal. That's ultimately the one that we're going to be recommending. They had the lowest interest rate almost across the board for all options. They had very flexible prepayment terms, meaning if you close the loan with them, your ability to pay it off early or refund it again in the future will exist. But you did also receive a number of other bids, and we're very pleased with that. Not all of these banks are necessarily household names to you, but we deal with them all. They're very active in bidding on North Carolina local government bonds and borrowings. And then at the very bottom, we've got the two proposals for the Germsburg district, and we've highlighted Southern Bank. Will be recommending them for that loan refunded. Okay. Any questions on that? All right, so a little bit on page 3 about both Key Bank and Southern Bank. Remember, Key Bank is the one that we'll be recommending, which happens to be option 5 for those 4 different county loans, and Southern Bank will be the recommended for Germsburg. You can see their interest rates going down the chart, their prepayment language. They both allow for prepayment. In Key Bank, in whole at any time at par, that means no penalty. And they will allow for partial prepayment upon request. Southern Bank will allow in whole or in part at any time with no penalty. The acceptance deadlines for Key Bank, they actually push that to Friday. We would need to close by October 29th, and our schedule anticipates that that is achievable. And for Southern Bank, we would need to close by October 29th, no problem. Bank fees, Key Bank has no fees. Southern Bank has a $3,500 fee for their counsel, their legal counsel. Credit approval, both of these have said they've got preliminary approval. It's subject to final documentation. That's very standard. We've closed loans with both of these. We don't expect any surprises. But should there be a surprise and we don't close, you are not obligated in any way to move forward, or you haven't incurred any costs, but we don't expect any surprises. Lenders Counsel, that's the firm that will be representing the bank in the transaction. They'll be interacting primarily with the county attorney and your bond attorney. Very standard that they would have somebody. And then a few other considerations, but these are all should not be problematic, mostly about being able to provide the bank with your audited financials within 270 days, and that's a pretty standard request. So we feel very good about the two proposals. Their terms and conditions are all very straightforward. So when you go to page 4, what I would suggest you focus on is the right-hand side of that page. It's under column E, and it's the option 5 that I spoke of. So for the county, it's the one that includes the 03, the 05, the 2013, and the 2014 bond. And it includes the district's 2000 bonds. So what you see on this page as you go down is the maturities that we're talking about. What I will tell you is we are not in any way extending the debt. So if the debt's going to mature in 15 years, it's still going to mature in 15 years. In fact, for some of these, we're shortening them. Not only have we gotten to a lower interest rate, but we're going to be able to pay the loan off more quickly and still generate annual savings. So we're not extending any debt. And what we would be proposing to go into is fixed rate, meaning that rate will not change in the future unless you all as a county pursue another refunding. So you're not exposed to variable interest rates or moving interest rates. We have costs associated with the transaction built into this analysis on lines 18 and 19. It's a placeholder estimate. I think it's a reasonable estimate. My expectation is it may come down a little bit as we get a little further down the road and fine tune the fees, but the costs for the transaction are included in the numbers. And on the next page, when we talk about your annual savings or your total savings, those costs have been accounted for. So in other words, you don't need to back out any costs from the numbers that you're going to see on page 5. And when you turn to page 5 and you continue to look at option 5, you're going to see that the savings that we've shown you here, it's on the far right of the page, are shown by fiscal year, starting with fiscal year 22, which the year we're in. And the savings go all the way out to 2053, because one of these existing loans goes all the way out to 2053. But remember, we're going to shorten this up. So what you're going to see is you go down that column E and you look at those annual savings. You know, the first several years are in like the $45,000 range. That drops down to in the 30,000 range, down to around 19 or 20,000. And by the time you get out to 2042, you see some very large savings for 200 to 400,000 a year. That's because we're shortening those loans up. If you did nothing and let those loans keep moving, you would be paying payments all the way out to 2053. What we're doing here, as I said earlier, is we're reducing the interest rate and we're shortening it up. So everything is going to be paid off by fiscal year 2041, which is essentially a 20-year loan. Okay, so we have savings in the interim years, and then we have some very large savings in the outer years because you're no longer making payments. The loan will be retired, whereas if you did nothing, you would still be making those payments. So you can see what the annual payments are, and when you roll them up to the grand total, it's about 3.8 million over the life of the debt. So feel very good about the results, right? I mean, if you think about what we've done here, we've taken loans that are for the most part in the 4 to 5% range, and we have secured funding in the 1.7 to 2.3 range. So we're swapping out higher interest rates for lower interest rates, and we're shortening the payments. So option 5 on page 5 on the far right is the option we'll be recommending, which is written up on the top of the next page, which is page 6. It's our recommendation. We've consulted with your staff. We've consulted with the local government commission in Raleigh. That's under the Department of State Treasurer. They have to approve financings like this. We don't have their explicit approval yet, but we've talked with staff and they're supportive of it thus far. So our recommendation to you, and that's what is memorialized in the 2 different resolutions that you'll be considering, is option 5, Key Bank, and for Germsburg, Southern Bank. So as you look at this schedule, tonight is the night where you all, as the 2 different boards for the county and the district, will consider these preliminary findings resolution. And within that, we're awarding it to the bank. We'll let the banks know tomorrow if it's approved. We'll continue to work with the local government commission and working with staff to get the application in. We would come back to you all for the second and final approval on September 20th. This is the first of a 2-step process. September 20th would be your final actions. And then if all of that proceeds on October 5th, this will be on the local government commission's agenda for approval. And again, at this point, we have no reason to believe that it wouldn't be approved, but I will continue to be in touch with them on the transaction itself. And I know that staff is also talking to them related to audit and other financial matters to make sure that all of their questions have been answered. And if all of that occurs, we would be in a position to close in late October. And when we close, the old debt is paid off and you are left with the new debt with presumably Key Bank and Southern Bank, and you have those debt schedules to pay against going forward. So I'll stop there. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to try to answer, and I'll also stick around if you have questions as you get into the resolutions.
Board members, do you have any questions?
I have a question to our finance director. On page 3, under Key Bank, other considerations, the timeline there,
Yes.
knowing what we have been through in the past, are we positioned to meet these deadlines as far as our audit?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I just want to hear it.
I understand. And we've run into that in a number of places, and I think you are on track to do that. But we know from time to time there are hiccups, and the banks understand that, and will usually work with us if there is an issue, but we don't expect that.
Any other question, board members?
I would like to have, I know you said it could be schools, to know whether that was all water, sewer, construction, or was it schools? I saw water and sewer for 2, or water bonds for 2. So I would just like to know from either our finance department or
The original purpose.
the original purpose.
Yeah, and I think we can track that down. I may have it in my
Okay.
bag. If I don't, we can certainly track that down. A couple of these that we are considering refunded prior debt themselves. So we just need to trace it back a little bit, but we can get that.
Any other question, board members? Resolution.
So there is a county board resolution, I think, in the packet.
Yes.
Page
And
9.
among other things, as Mr. Murphy said, this has language in there that states what the intended transaction is in terms of what existing bonds are being refunded. We have some not to exceed parameters in there that are required by the bond attorneys. Keep in mind, we're only going to issue as much debt as we need to pay off the old debt, nothing more. It mentions Key Bank in this resolution. It mentions the professionals that are working on the transaction, and it directs staff to submit an application to the local government commission. And remember, you will have a second approval at September 20th that ultimately will be the final approval. So I don't expect it, but you could approve this, and for some reason, if something changes materially and not approve the next one, you're not obligated to move forward, but this is a required first step.
Attorney, you have any?
Sir, I think it was explained very well.
At this time, if no other questions, could I have a motion to approve the resolution as given to us?
You have to read the resolution, attorney.
No, ma'am.
Okay. I make a motion that we approve the resolution for the County of Northampton, NC, making preliminary findings and authorization application for approval from the local government commissioner for general obligation refunding bonds.
Could I have a second?
Second, Buffalo.
Second by Commissioner Buffalo. Are there any questions? Any discussion? Mr. Evans, any questions in the discussion?
None, sir.
If not, all in favor of the said motion, that be known by Juju sign aye.
Aye, Buffalo. Aye, Faulkner.
I Boone.
Aye, Edwards.
Our Turner ayes carried it, and the motion is approved. At this time, I need to recess the Board of Commissioners so we can go into the Germsburg Sewer District. I need no motion on that. We just move right into that. At this time, the Germsburg Sewer District bond refunded. You have that resolution in your package likewise. I would ask this question on the Germsburg. It's only, I'm saying only, but it's just $330,000 for the Germsburg. That's worth us doing it. Likewise, LGC didn't say anything about us not doing it.
That's
They were
correct.
fine. Okay, yeah, I know it's worth it. If it saves $8, it is worth it. But I do
Right.
know that's just a little amount of money that we owe there. So we're fine. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that loan by itself is generating approximately 85,000 of the 3.8 million. So it's not a big part of it, but there are
You're right. Yeah.
Bonafide savings.
Anything? Yes, I'm sorry. You're right. Could I at this time, if no question, could I have a motion that we would adopt the resolutions given to us for the Germsburg Sewer District refinance?
Likewise, considering all information presented to us, I would like to make a motion to approve the resolution for the County of Northampton, NC, making preliminary findings, no, not the county, the district, yes,
Northampton,
the Northampton Germsburg Sewer District
got it.
resolution making preliminary findings and authorizing application for approval from the local government commission for Northampton Germsburg Sewer District general obligation refunding bonds.
Motion made by Vice Chairman Faulkner. Could I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Boone. Are there any questions in the discussion? If not, all in favor, let it know by your sign. Aye.
Aye, Buffalo.
Aye, Faulkner.
Hi, Edwards.
All right, ayes have it. Motion is carried. Thank you so much. At this time, we will go adjourn the Germsburg Sewer and District. And now we will reconvene our commissioners, Board of Commissioners meeting this time. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Ted, let me say this. You probably explained some things to us that a layman might not would understand it, but there's some people who listen to us, and let me just give it to them in layman's term. Ladies and gentlemen, what we've done tonight is save this county many of dollars. We've looked at all the indebtedness that the county has. And what we've done is gone back and gone to a bank and got lower interest rate from a 5% all the way down to 1.5%. In some cases, other cases might be 2%, but whatever it is, it's gonna save us. Let me say it again in layman's term. You're probably talking about for our county a year, approximately $100,000 that we're gonna be saving in our county by not, by renewing these bonds and at a lower interest rate. And also Ted said, and I missed this, Ted, in all our discussion, that you shortened the time for some of it. And I just want to thank you for looking out for Northampton County. Board members, we are moving in the right direction with our funding. And I want to also say to you that all of this indebtedness occurred before any of us were on the board. But again, it's Northampton County indebtedness. And we want to make sure that we do the very best that we possibly can for the future of our county. So Ted, I want to thank you again tonight. I hope I said in layman's terms so that everybody will understand it. We have saved the county some money. We have at least $100,000 a year right now. We're going to be able to save in Northampton County. Thank you, Ted.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Bob, for working so well with Ted and all the other things that you're doing for Northampton County. Yeah, Tamika is the best. We understand that. We appreciate you letting us know she's the best. Our finance, I know our finances in order. We've heard from Raleigh about our finances. We heard from our auditor about our finances, and it seems to be, commissioners, that our finances in order. The state has said that to us. The auditor has said that to us, but it's all because of Tamika. Tamika, her staff is the finest I know of. Thank you so much, Tamika, for all that you do in helping Northampton County be where it is. Yes. All right, we shall continue now. Let's go with our water system improvement, Severn and Elam Church Road. Fred, the P project manager, Rivers and Associates.
Good evening. I appreciate y'all having us back again tonight. Following the approval of the funding for the Phase 6 project, we were requested by the county to consider an additional 2 roads to potentially add to the Phase 6 project. At the time we were asked, I did tell the county that To my knowledge, it was USDA's current policy not to allow additions of scope to a project after they had approved funding. So we proceeded to evaluate these two roads, compile cost estimates. We met with the county to present those. And I would like to tell you, I did direct that question to USDA to get a confirmation. I did get a call late last Friday, and I apologize, I hadn't had a time to inform you. But I didn't tell you wrong. USDA will not allow additions of scope to a project for which they've already approved funding. So given that, proceeding to do these two roads in a standalone project would seem that we're moving in the right way, at least to get these two roads and go ahead and design these in unison with phase 6 with the goal of kind of keeping these moving along, and then we can advertise this project along with the phase 6 project and hopefully take advantage of some economy of scale, actually putting out two projects at the same time. And I think that would really help generate a lot of interest from contractors to come bid on this. So under direction from the county, we have prepared an engineering agreement, and that's what I have brought to you tonight. This approval of this agreement would allow us to go ahead and design these two roads in unison with the phase 6 design phase, and then carry these through bidding and construction on the same schedule.
Thank you.
Anybody have any questions?
Board members, I need to discuss this with you. These are the two roads that we talked about that were not a part of phase 6 that we thought was a part of phase 6. These two roads that people paid their monies likewise, like everybody else did, because we thought that these roads were included. They were not included. So it meant for us that we need to find the additional $800,000, right around that amount, that's going to be needed by the time that we get ready to do the water on these two roads. So I just wanted you all to know that this part was a part that was left out, and it was left out. We had transition in our water department, and because of that transition, these two roads were left out. Tonight, I'm asking you to add these two roads with the amount of money you've given to us preliminary for the cost. I also want you to know that we plan to use the monies that we receive from what is it? Yes, rescue money can be used for this purpose. Okay, the rescue money can be used for this purpose, and we can decide later if we what we want to do with the rescue money once we receive it all. It would do us no good to not have this to go along with phase 6, where we get a better bidding price. When I know Rivers have given us a better price because they can do it all the same time. So I just wanted you to know this is one that we added. We talked about it, but I asked Rivers to go on and give us the price so that they can go on and do the engineering that they need to get done. And it's not like we cannot do it. It's like we're going to apply now to Upper Coastal Plain and to some other places where I have water and sewer money, even to the state. Once they approve their budget, they have millions of dollars in their budget. The state does for water and for sewer. And we're going to also apply to them for these funds. But it's not like we'll not have the funds to do this. And the rescue money says water and sewer is one of the ways we can spend the monies. So are there any questions you need to ask me on that? Because I am the one who sent Rivers out and told them to come back tonight with something so that we can approve it, so that Rivers will not have to be doing double work. This ties in, these lines ties into the lines that we are doing right in phase 6. They tie right into it. We just didn't extend it for it. And it was I want to tell you, it was a mistake on the water department because we thought certainly these 2 roads were included. But by doing this tonight, they will be included. Any questions? Commissioners, any question? Any question? Citizens in our county needs good water. Citizens in our county, all the wells on these roads are condemned. They are condemned. They can't drink the water.
I don't have a question, but connecting this to the American Recovery Act, although hand sanitizer is something you can use when you don't have access to water, one of the ways to prevent the spread of viruses, not just COVID-19, but any type of viral infection, is to have adequate access to water. And if you don't have clean water, it's hard to remove bacteria when you're adding bacteria from your water. So I can agree that the use of the funds would be appropriate.
Thank you. And of course, board members, I want you to know that you will decide once we receive those funds, all of those funds, you will decide on this and other projects that we have in Northampton County. Are there any other discussion before we ask for a motion that we approve this? Any other discussion? Board members, are you sure?
Yes. Just to make sure that Mr. Edwards.
Mr. Edwards?
No,
Have
sir,
a
I don't have
problem?
any questions. No, sir, I don't have any questions. I really appreciate it and thank you.
Yes.
I'm
And I know
looking
that,
at the board book and reading it. Yes,
I know the people on these roads will certainly be appreciative.
absolutely.
Could I have a motion then that we would approve?
I so move, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Edwards. Could I have a second?
Second Buffalo.
Second, Ms. Buffalo. Ms. Buffalo, I know you need a second because part of this is in your district.
Yes.
Okay, are there any questions or any discussion? If not, all in favor, let known by you sign aye.
I Buffalo.
Faulkner.
I Boone.
Hi, Edwards.
Tyner, motion is passed. Thank you so much. We'll be in touch with you. Go to work. Our folks need water yesterday.
Begin work. Right away. Thank you very much.
They need water yesterday. Okay, thank you. At this time, as we move on our agenda, we'll see Health Department, liaison position. Smith.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Mr.
Come for you to ask for your permission for the health department to create a public health nurse school liaison position that will be completely funded by funds from the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services. All health departments across the state are getting this money nationally in a time that we all need it. The primary responsibilities of the position would be to coordinate COVID-19 screening for our schools, some testing, and increase our vaccine administration efforts, and also be a kind of liaison for any of the school nurses that have any general questions that they answer right quick. Again, this is $115,000 for the fiscal year, and it is, like I say, it's totally funded from the Department of Health and Human Services and going out to all health departments across the state. So we just ask for your permission to create this position so we can start recruiting.
Got it. Let me ask you one question.
Yes, sir.
Where will this position be housed, in your department?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We oversee it.
But I heard you say it'll be working with the school.
Working with the school nurses and the other schools in general, just kind of being a liaison to them as needed. Yes, sir. Kind of expanding on what we're already doing. Yes, sir.
Will it be Will they be administering any of the tests?
That's a possibility. It's kind of as a need of what we see the needs as we go forward. Yes, sir. But it'll be like I say, it'll be a professional nurse. It'll be housed in our department, but be working with our school nurses and other administrators as needed.
I see that there might be a need as we move along and get a vaccine for our children in school. It
Yes, sir.
worried me so, but
Yes, sir.
our children there and
Yes, sir.
without the
Like I
vaccine.
say,
so-
this funding went out to all health departments, all 100 health departments across the state.
The educators on this board, any questions you all need to ask? Mr. Elvis, any questions you all want to ask about this position? Mr. Elvis?
Yeah, I'm right here, Mr. Chairman. I think that's great that, you know, we're able to get a position to assist the schools, and it's needed. I mean, the current times that we're living in with this pandemic and the Delta variant, and then finding there's another strand is definitely greatly needed. So thank you. Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Fulton.
I would like to ask if when school systems are determining based upon the metrics in the classroom or in the school that would determine based upon the governor's
Yes, ma'am.
decision. As of now, school districts as a district cannot close or go
Yes.
virtual.
Right. That's
It
what
has
I'm
to be
saying.
on a classroom
Individual.
or school level basis based upon the metrics. Would this person be the person who would communicate and serve on a panel, or would you serve on that panel?
I can still serve, but also this can be an extra resource for us is what I'm thinking, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am. Basically, I'm looking at it as needed, you know, where we can all work together with the schools. Assistant Superintendent Barfield, myself could definitely be the coordinators and have the individual working with their greatest need at the given time. That's my vision, ma'am.
Okay. Man, you come up, you know we're not gonna turn on into help, man. It's free. Could I have a motion that we accept this position?
I appreciate it.
Could I have a motion?
Yes, I make a motion that we approve the appointment of I guess, recruiting for
Recruiting.
a school health liaison position, Northampton County, through the Northampton County Health Department.
Second.
With a proper second, that we would accept the position given to us by the state to our health department. Are there any questions in the discussion?
And this is
Okay.
specifically for the 2021-2022 school year.
Yes, ma'am.
So we have to utilize this school year. This is no additional yet.
No additional yet, but I would be highly suspect if it doesn't.
Uh-huh.
Personal opinion only though.
Mhm.
Just with the way things are going, ma'am, I think this is a start, but I think
Yeah.
they're going to see the need and how
Yeah,
it
it
really does.
will be.
I
That-
think
That's,
it is.
that's a personal opinion. I can't guarantee it, but
I understand.
I will do my best to keep it
We
going
do.
after the money's gone.
Right,
And I will plan on it.
right.
I know you said K-12,
Yes, ma'am.
but could we say K-13?
Sure.
Because we have students in the
Yes, ma'am.
13th grade.
Yes, ma'am. Again, we would coordinate as needed to the greatest need area at a given moment.
Students in the early college can stay an additional year and be considered a Northampton County School student and still finish their associate's
Correct.
degree. So they sign on for a 13th year.
Thank you for telling me that. Thank you.
I heard the oops. I
Yeah,
said, let me
you're
make sure.
right.
People understand they're not retained students or failed students. They are opting for that extra year of free college education.
All in favor, let known by you sign aye.
Hi, Buffalo.
Faulkner.
Hi, Boone.
Hi, Edwards.
I have motion is carried. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Smith. Human resource updates. Ms. Harris.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Ms. Harris, the new HR Director for Northampton County. This employment status report is for the month of May 2021 through August of 2021. We had 29 vacant positions and 17 has been filled. We have, as far as I know, one of the new hires that is here, that's Ms. Barbara Williams. She's our Office Assistant 3 for HR. Currently, the positions that we are recruiting for are County Manager, Accountant Technician, paramedic, general utility worker, telecommunicator, telecommunicator supervisor, social worker 3, housekeeper, income maintenance caseworker 2 and 3, director of aging, public health nurse 1, child health, and environmental health specialist. Those are the vacancies that we're currently recruiting for.
Thank you for the
you.
information. Are there any questions you all need to answer about the vacancies that we have? Are there any questions? Thank you, Ms. Harris. We want to say, I guess, congratulations to you for now taking on the responsibility of HR for Northampton County.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you.
Chairman Turner, I just wanted Miss Barbara Williams to stand up. Of course, you know, if I'm ever absent from one of the board meetings, she's my substitute, my fill-in. So I just wanted her to stand up so she could introduce her, be seen by the board, so they'll know who she is. If something happens, I'm not here and she just walks around, I want you to know who she is.
Thank you, Barbara. But we appreciate you too, coming back to your home county, Northampton County, and working with us in the big city of Conway. God bless you. Okay, at this time, we're gonna ask the courthouse computer system, Robin Phillips Williams, she'll come forth. I rest of these.
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah.
I stand before you tonight to ask for your stamp of approval to enter into an agreement with Courthouse Computer Systems so our citizens will be able to have another option in obtaining their vital records. They can request it online versus coming into the office.
Oh, yes. I can't be against that. Are there any questions you all like to ask Ms. Williams at this time? Yes.
Honorable Ms. Williams. Is this system similar to any that are used in our surrounding counties?
It is.
Is it like the one that Hereford uses? Is it that system?
It is. We were using Promedium. You all gave me the stamp of approval to go into a contract with Promedium. But per our mission statement and our vision statement, they were not providing the highest level of excellence. So that's why we do not have them any longer.
Oh, did
By
she-
the way you put
she
that.
said that well, didn't she? I clear you said that
Yes.
well.
That's right.
Ooh, excellent.
I was curious of how it worked, so.
It works the
I'm familiar
same,
with that.
very user-friendly.
Yes.
Board members, I like at this time to, there are no other questions. Ms. Evans, you have any questions?
I do not, Mr. Chairman.
At this time, if there are no other questions, I'll entertain a motion. We will approve the courthouse computer system.
So moved.
Mr. Evans has made that motion. Could I have a second?
Second, Buffalo.
Second by Commissioner Buffalo. Are there any questions, any discussion? If not, all in favor, that'd be known, use your sign aye.
Aye, Buffalo.
I vote.
Aye, Faulkner.
Aye, Edwards.
I have it, motion is carried.
Thank you very much. And I would like to ditto whoever said something about Miss Green. She's doing a wonderful job, her and her team. They help us out a lot, and we do sincerely appreciate them.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. At this time, as we move right along, let's go with the Mr. Tony Burnett, Emergency Management, Evacuation, Staging Area Request.
Like I say, good evening to this board,
Good evening.
to all
Good
the
evening.
citizens out here watching. Good evening, Mr. Edwards. I come before you today with a facility request for a staging area for the Creasy Gymnasium location and for the Lake Gaston Community Center as well. And I want to just carry it down to give you guys the same thinking I've been having when it comes to this. Right now, we have three shelter locations that we open, that we have in emergencies. That is here at the Wellness Center here in Jackson, Conway Middle School, and the high school there in Gaston. The thing that we found out and the thing that we looked at and we found to be not meeting the needs of our people here in the county was in the Rich Square area. Rich Square area, we have at least 3 to 4 nursing facilities there, and we also have a senior citizen apartment there. And I look at it in the terms that if we have an emergency, we have a full-fledged emergency, and we got to move people from one location to the other, that Rich Square area will be really hurting down there. So I partnered with the Red Cross, and I'm so thankful that the board was proactive in opening Creasy School. And I had the Red Cross do facility check there to make sure that we was up to standard where we need to be in order to have this location as a staging facility, in which they in turn said that we was okay. I also met with the Lake Gaston Association there at the Lake Gaston Community Center, because in that Lake Gaston area as well, we are not where we need to be with our staging facility in that area. If we had an emergency in that area, those people would have to come all the way to Gaston. I met with several groups there, Gaston Baptist Church members and the Lake Gaston Association in reference to using that facility, in which they agreed that we could use that along with the Red Cross being there as well. One thing that we learned well here in Northampton County is how to distribute food and the logistics of feeding our people if we need to do so. So that was one of the things that really pressed me on this, to make sure we have the locations adequate to serve our people if we have a disaster of some type here happen in Northampton County. And just to bring you forward, we there at the old high school, the Creeksville location, Northampton County Schools should have an open house there coming up November the 18th, in that range. And I plan on going before the board of the school board, asking if we could use that facility as well as a sheltering area, because that's a big location. I met with the Woodland Town Board and I spoke with them about locations, and we couldn't find anything close to Woodland. So I wanted to make sure that we had a facility that's big enough to hold our citizens if we did have that emergency. That is the number one thing that always run through my mind, that we are prepared if we have some type of emergency, we have to evacuate people from one location to another, that we can handle that situation, and we could be logistical where we need to be when it comes to feeding our people and housing our people. So that's why I'm here before you today, asking that you approve this measure so we can have those locations to open them. Last but not least, I did go before the Rich Square Town Council with this as well, by this being inside the Rich Square city limits, and they did also approve this measure.
Okay. Board members, you've heard from emergency management person. Are there any questions that you all need to ask? I just want to say to you, this is being proactive. We just been some kind of blessed not to have the rain and the storms that other places have had, even as close as Berkeley County. I think this is just excellent that we are now preparing ourselves in case it will come to Northampton County. I think Rich Square is one of those places that I'm glad that you got, because we know that Rich Square is below the sea level as far as flooding is concerned. And I want you to know that Commissioner Faulkner, that we've asked our representative, Michael Ray, to help us with the flooding that's going on in Rich Square on Main Street and so forth. And he declared unto me that in the bill that he has now before the House, that his money's in there included to eradicate that problem in Rich Square. So I just want you all to know the Rich Square is the one place that really bothers me the most. And while we're talking about that, let me say that we've been working with the Rich Square town and doing some things they need to do to clear some covers and to do some things to get the water running out of Rich Square. down to the river. So I want you to know that is in the work. The town is really working with us in getting that done. But tonight is a great night for us. If it start raining, where will our people go in that low-lying area? I just need to say that to you, Mr. Burnett. Thank you for coming up with it. And thank you, Commissioner, for us opening and repairing that gym over there. And I know I will hear my comrade say, you still haven't done enough, but we're working on the grounds over there. We're gonna get that. Remember, we're gonna get there, because how many years did it go that the school wouldn't use it all, even the gym? But now we're using it. But I need to say that to the commissioners to make sure that you understand that it is that we are proactive. And I'm asking everybody on our team to be proactive, looking at ways that we don't wait till the problem comes, look at the ways we can solve it before the problem gets to us.
Mr. Chairman, if I might add as well, I wanted to just make sure that our citizens know that they know and they hear it coming from this board that we are proactive with their safety in mind, that we are doing everything that we can to make sure if we have some type of emergency that it hit Northampton County, that we're prepared and we're ready. Thank you, sir.
Yes, yes, Commissioner Paul.
I want to make sure that you have the adequate funding in your budget to address some of those on page 114 in our book, where it said the facility will require some, but not extensive. I know the smoke detectors, so I would like to see smoke detectors in every bathroom and in those open areas. And the reason why I say that, when people would have to use an emergency, it's a stressful situation. And which I'm not, if I was a smoker, what do smokers resort to when they're stressed?
Smoke.
A cigarette. So they might go in the bathroom and smoke and then dispose of it in the wrong place, and then you have an issue. So that's why I would say, if we can, I would hate for people to escape an emergency to find themselves right back in one. So whatever it takes to get this facility here up to the Red Cross standards, and of course your standards in your department, you will make sure that the board knows what those items are.
Yes, ma'am.
And if your budget, I
If
guess
it
you have
doesn't,
to
that'll
come
be
back
taken care
to
of.
us, right? Mhm.
Madam Chair, I can say that we have a stock at Emergency Management of smoke detectors. And we're gearing up for fire prevention in October. So we do have those on hand, and we will be able to get those installed and meet the needs that
Thank you so
the
much.
Red Cross cited in that report.
Just to add to that, board member, I probably need not to say, but let me tell you, if an emergency comes to Northampton County, it will rest on us as commissioners to make sure y'all understand it. If something happened to us like it's happening right now in Louisiana, Mississippi, at the end of the day, we'll be convening to do all we can to help our people. Just want to make sure that we understand. We won't be, Red Cross will be fine. Red Cross haven't gotten here yet. We're gonna do everything we can to make sure that we save as many lives as we possibly can. I just wanted you to know, don't shun your responsibility to tell your flood come to Rich Square, just where to get ready to put your boots on. We're going to Rich Square, and we're gonna do all we can to make sure that Rich Square is taken care of. That's why in county government, gotta say this, that's why you gotta keep some emergency monies always there, because you never know when the emergencies will come. Okay, we said enough about that. Could I have a motion? Someone, it's another board member has something to say. Commissioner Boone, that's in the county, in your area too. We'll make sure. And any questions, any discussion?
And we are approving for 2 sites, correct?
Yes.
I know we spoke a lot about Rich Square. And the other site is at the Lake Gaston
Community Center.
Community Center. Okay.
Little different because it's up on the hill. Go ahead,
Oh,
but they
yeah.
can have the same problem. Go ahead.
I just want to make sure our citizens different.
Right.
Yes.
Just that he's
And-
on both.
And the reason on that, Vice Chairman, we wanted to use that as a staging, in case we do have an emergency there, that we could stage our people there until we could find them adequate places to get to, transportation and whatnot. And we looked at that area and we looked at the church. We had the fire department on hand, fire chief. We had our pastors, we had our Red Cross, and we had the Lake Gaston Association. All of those folks are going to come into play if we have some type of emergency up there. And one thing that we're good at, and I'll say this again, one thing we are good at here in Northampton, we've been doing it for quite some time, feeding people and logistical, moving things from one place to the next. So I'm very proud of what we've done and what we continue to do with the training that we're doing with our different fire departments, with water rescue, and everything else we have going on. I'm so proud of that.
At this time, could I have a motion that we'll approve these two sites?
Chairman Town, I make a motion that we approve of the two sites for evacuation staging areas as presented by Mr. Burnett, our Emergency Management Department Director. Interim Director.
Okay. Could I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Boone, that we would certainly have those two staging areas, one in Rich Square and one in Gaston, as presented by Mr. Burnett. Are there any questions, any discussion? If not, all in favor, let know by your sign aye.
Faulkner.
Mr. Edwards?
Aye.
Ayes have it, motion is carried. Thank you so much.
Thank you, board.
Keep the administration informed of the needs that you might have to make sure that these places meet the requirements of Red Cross.
Yes, sir. Thank you, board.
Okay. At this time, we're going to ask our tax administrator if she will come forward. We know that Ms. Basin is our new tax administrator. We're welcome. We're glad to see you tonight, have you be a part of us. Will you now go on with your decision?
Yes, sir. Good evening, everyone. I am Jamie Mason, the new tax administrator for Northampton County. Right proud of it too, y'all. And I'm before you this evening to obtain the board's approval to release or refund ad valorem for the motor vehicle refunds. The amount is $1,949.78. And there's an itemized listing included in your packet.
I don't see that.
Y'all don't have it in there?
No, we don't have that one.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't bring extra ones.
104.69.
We got a 104.
For the ad valorem taxes.
That's what I'm talking about. And we have Department of Transportation. And then a citizen.
No,
No,
it's $104.
Oh.
69.
that's the only one we have.
A mobile home
Oh,
lease.
okay.
Do you have the others? Do you have a copy of it?
Not with me, not in my package right here. I don't. I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on.
Not in ours.
I have the wrong one. Would you happen to have the one for the 8th that was submitted? This is the only one that was submitted? That's an error, y'all.
Board members, I'm going to ask you all to approve that list once she gives it to me.
Will you just let us pass it down so we?
This one, the one that I have, sure.
Yes. Okay, that'll be fine. And the reason I'm doing it, board member, because we don't want to delay people getting the money.
At least people know they lay
Right.
their eyes on it.
Mhm.
And if, like, you could reshare that. Then we can do like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I will be unable to see the document, as you know.
Do we need to send it to you?
If you can take a picture of it.
You can take a picture of it and Mr. McKellar and send it to me. That would be greatly appreciated.
He's doing that as we speak.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair.
Give it to this.
All is well.
All is
All is
well?
well. Yeah, you
Okay.
don't, okay, don't.
I will submit the correct documents to you all.
And the total on that, I didn't write it down, I'm sorry.
$1,949.78.
78.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, board members, you've seen the document and with that information, there are two there that we need to refund. Could I have a motion that we would accept it as given?
So moved, Chairman. And
Okay,
again, the total was $1,949.78 for the two appeals.
Yes, ma'am.
okay. All right, could I have a second?
Second.
All right, second by Commissioner Boone. Any question, any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I haven't
Yes.
received the document yet, so with that being
Hold
stated,
on, hold on.
I trust the judgment.
I sent it, I don't know, I've emailed it and I've texted it.
It just came through, Mr. McKellar. Thank you so much. I can see the document. Thank you.
Thank you. Are you fine with it, Mr. Edwards?
Absolutely, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. All right, all in favor, the known by usual sign aye.
Aye.
Buffalo.
I, Faulkner.
I, Edwards.
I've had the motion is carried. Thank you so much. Continue on.
Thank you, sir.
How
You got
about
one more.
you got one
Last
more?
one, that 104.
104.69.
For the one,
That was a total for both.
one release.
I don't have that.
You don't?
Not in my package here. Not saying that it wasn't, I just maybe that I didn't
It's
pick it up.
dated August the 20th, so maybe the wrong one.
Did you see that one? We have that one.
Okay, all right. Okay, so I also bring before you in the amount of $104.69 for one.
Okay. Well, members, you have that information. It's, and you have also the reason. Okay, are there any, can I have a motion that we approve this? That's all it.
Yes, I make a motion that we approve the release of the ad valorem taxes. It says an amount of $104.69 on the appeal
Okay,
brought to.
I have a second.
Buffalo, second.
Second by Commissioner Buffalo. Any questions in discussion? If not, all in favor, let know by usual sign aye.
Aye, Buffalo.
I, Faulkner.
Aye, Boone.
I, Edwards.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Appreciate it. It's all fine.
Mhm.
And we got the information we needed.
Right.
Okay? At this time, our finance officer will come forward and she'll give us some budget amendments that we need to look at.
Good evening.
Good evening.
First, I have the monthly financial report for July of 2021. This is the first month into fiscal year 2022. And at this point, we are at a total of 1% in collected revenue, and we're at 3.7% in expenditure. And this is because our tax bills have not gone out yet for the year.
Board members, you have again, she started out the new year, giving you your monthly finance report. Commissioner Faulkner fought for this for years and you got it. Thank you so much and keep us abreast. Of course, I'm in the office there with you. Just keep us abreast if anything that we need to make sure that we keep our eyes on self and the commissioners along with Bob, Mr. Murphy. Okay. All right. Would you continue on?
Okay, I have budget amendment number 4.
And this is to budget funds for an increased contribution to CADA, and this is for assistance to Northampton County citizens in the amount of $17,950. And budget amendment number 5. This is to receive the funds for the school health liaison that Health Director Smith spoke about on tonight, and this is in the amount of $115,000.
Board members, she has before us 2 budget amendments that we would like for you to consider tonight. These budget amendments come to us from our finance office. She's gone over them and she said to us, this is what we need to do to make the adjustments in our budget. Are there any questions, any discussion? I do note that CADA is included, and we want to thank CADA for all it's doing for the citizens of our county. I think, Ms. Buffalo, you serve on that board.
Yes, sir.
I think CADA ought to be commended for all the work that they're doing in Northampton County. Unlike ever before, they are looking out for the citizens of Northampton County, the least among them. Thank you, CADA, for all that you're doing. Could I have a motion that we would approve this that we have before us tonight?
So moved.
Okay, Mr. Buffalo made that motion. Could I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Boone. Are there any questions? Any discussion? All in favor? Let it be known by you sign aye.
Aye, Buffalo.
Aye. Boone.
Aye, Faulkner.
Ayes have it, motion.
Hold on.
Oh, Mr. Edwards.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Ayes have it, motion is carried.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you. At this time, are there any citizens' comments? No citizens' comments? Got you. Any citizens' comments back there? Good, thank you. At this time, the interim county manager, board comments. Maybe I'll do the interim county managers first, and then I'll do the board comments last. I do want to commend staff of Northampton County for all the hard work that you're doing. I want to commend you for going beyond the call of duty. Our staff, you are doing it. And I want this board to know that this is an excellent, we have excellent in our work, excellent people who are working with us every day to keep our county moving in the direction that it is. I do want you to know that I've come a little down because of the census that's just come out. And I need to say to you that it's come across my desk, the interim county manager, that it really spells for doom for Northampton County and the other counties in the east. I didn't bring the report, but I have a report that says to us that we will lose in Northampton County more citizens than any other county in the state. We will have population decrease of at least 29%. Folks, I met with the mayors. I'm working with them, telling them, please help us. All of us got to work together because we can't not let the statistic be true. If we do so, then we're going to find ourselves with a problem in operating our county because we will not have the tax. Population look like it's down now. I can't believe it. Says something like 17,000. People in Northampton County are staying in Northampton County and aging population. Every age in Northampton County is over 60. Where will Northampton County be 10 years, 20 years from now? We must do something about housing. As a county, we've got to do something about housing. We're working on that. I want you all to know that's on our list. So people have nowhere to live. I do know that looking at our summary, it also says to us that we are poverty in our Northampton County is not decreasing, it's increasing. We must provide quality jobs for our people. And the buck stops with us as commissioners. It also starts with us. What initiatives do we have? Are we planning for the future? What are we doing? I want to say to you that we've got all of our people in all of our departments. We're working hard to encourage and to help us keep people in our county. Thank you, board members, for all that you do. I'm working day in and day out on behalf of the people in our county. We are still looking for a county manager. We've gone with a new search, Virginia, gone with a new search, national search, looking for a county manager. But the same problem with county manager, same problem we're having with keeping people in our county. When we find us a county manager, we don't want it to just be a stepping stone to come here and stay with us for 2 years, then you're gone. Really even haven't learned our people. So the challenges before us. I want to thank you, Mr. Murphy, for working with me and with this county. We're doing the very best we can in making sure our county is abreast and doing all we can to make it progressive as we possibly can. The citizens, if you got any ideas, if you got any thoughts, please contact the commissioners. They're right in your district. And perhaps if you can't find them, talk to them, please let me know. I serve first as a county commissioner, making sure that people in our county receive the services, that we're just kind to our people. Those are the kinds of things that I need to say as the interim county manager. And commissioners, again, I'm open every day for telephone conversation. Anything that you need to say to me about our county. This is position thrown upon me. By law, I got no other choice till someone else's name. But we're doing the best we can. Have any objections or anything, please let us know. At this time, we shall move to more comments. I will start first with Buffalo. If you have any comments that you would like to make.
I just want to say good evening again. Thank you to all of our staff in the county for the hard work that they do to make sure that all of our needs are met, all of the needs of the citizens are met, and to remember our families who lost troops a couple of weeks ago, and the anniversary of 9/11 that's coming up, the 20th anniversary, and to continue to be safe with COVID. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Buffalo, for all that you do, all the help that you give each and every day. Ms. Buffalo is probably one of those who we find working with us all the time because of the fact that she doesn't have that employment that others. So I want to commend you and thank you for the way that you assist me personally in carrying out the affairs of Northampton County. Mr. Edwards, at this time, we will hear any comments that you would like to make.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to say thank you, Mr. Chairman, for bringing up the census. That is very critical data that we all need to know, and really appreciate you sharing it. I also want to just express to everyone, please remain safe. COVID-19, the Delta variant, and then learning that there's another variant out here. So please remain safe in all that you do. Stay steadfast so that we can one day say, bring this pandemic to an end. And again, thank you to all the workers of Northampton County. Really appreciate it. Those are my comments, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Edwards. We appreciate all that you're doing. We hope that you getting settled in your new employment. I want you to know you're certainly missed. At this time, we're going to ask Ms. Buffalo, not Ms. Buffalo, Ms. Boone, if you would make any comments that you'd like to make.
Yes, sir. Well, just want to say good evening to our citizens and everyone and listening on tonight. Again, I just want to echo what Commissioner Buffalo and Commissioner Edwards have already stated. And I also want to thank you, Chairman Tyner, for the work that you're doing on behalf of our county and the citizens. I also want to, again, thank our county staff for their diligence and their perseverance all throughout unprecedented times that we find ourselves in. I encourage our citizens to remain safe as they can possibly be by making the right choices for themselves and their families in regards to COVID-19. Just continue to practice social distancing, wearing masks if you desire, things of that nature. If you find yourself in need of anything, contact us and we'll try to lead you in the direction for resources. And again, have a blessed evening, and we'll continue to do what we can.
Thank you. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for the support that you give. This time, we're going to ask Commissioner Faulkner, Vice Chair of this board, to make the comments she made.
I'd like to again thank everyone for tuning in that have thus far, and those who will watch this later on at the recording. Following along with the census, as a result of the census, redistricting in North Carolina will continue and will move forward, and there are public hearings on those redistricting. The General Assembly or the legislature announced those scheduled hearings on September the 1st. So there's one tonight in Caldwell at the community college there, and most of these are held at community colleges. A few are at the universities. But the following ones, I think, that are closer to us are for those who travel over onto the eastern end. Elizabeth City State University will have one at 5 o'clock on Tuesday, September the 14th. Pitt Community College will have one on Wednesday, September the 16th, and both of those are at 5 o'clock. There, if you can't make those and you need to go into the following week, there's Fayetteville Technical Community College has one on September the 30th. There's also ones in Wilmington, Pembroke, Mitchell, Central Piedmont. So there are a few others, just in case you are interested in having your voice heard as it relates to the public hearing. Members of the public may sign up to speak on site at each hearing, starting 1 hour prior to the start of the public hearing. Remember, I said most of them were 5, except Fayetteville starts at 6. And members of the public may also sign up to speak at the public hearing online. Sign up will close 4 hours prior to the start of the public hearing. So in person is 1 hour prior. If you do it online, it's 4 hours prior. The committee notice for each public hearing will include the name and address of the location and provide a link to the online sign up for that public hearing. I'll share what information I have to our clerk to the board for any of those who are interested in attending that public hearing. So if you don't want to speak, just to hear what they have to say. Voter registration deadlines for the October municipal elections is September the 10th. September the 10th, 2021. And then for the November 2nd municipal elections, it's October the 8th, 2021. So if your municipal election, for any of those who are logging in because they're a native of here and they may not live here anymore, but if your municipal election is October the 5th, then you have to register by September the 10th. And if your municipal election is November the 2nd, you have to do so by October the 8th.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you so much for helping me as we go through this interim county manager. Let me deal with some direct things that we all need to know. No secret about what we do and how we do it. I want to say something about the social services building. I believe that we need to make note that it was a headline that our social services building had some problems with mold. We have eradicated that problem. We'll report to the board and to the public. We've done the cleaning that we need to do. The people are there now making the adjustments who put the air conditions in to do what they need to do to make the adjustments there with those air conditions. But folks, this is the main problem with that building. The building is too large for the number of people we got in it. The building is too large for the number of people we got in. Decisions were made to build that huge place. Can't speak of why that decision was made. We're gonna have that problem. It'll cost us something to correct. I don't know, and you know more about it than I do, Commissioner. But we do not have bodies enough for that building. That building needs to be half the size it is for the number of bodies we got in it. So let me make sure we're clear. It's gonna cost us, we already know it was $200,000+ to go into that building and to eliminate the mold that's there. Now, the next problem is the heating and cooling system itself. What we got to put, what you call the strips in. They're planning, they're doing that as we speak. Just couldn't wait, folks. It got to be done right now. I think the strip's going to cost us like right at $3,000. And there are 15 panels there in that building. They're going to correct the ones that we know right now that got to be corrected before it comes back again. But we do have a problem there. We thank the employees there for working with us. Thank them for their support, and I've got a letter. I didn't get it, but we know the director got a letter stating that they were satisfied with the response, how we have responded to that situation. And there will be no other investigation because we have corrected. And we did it with people who had the credentials to get it done. Want to satisfy you all with knowing that. So there's no such thing as we just pull somebody off the street to go out there and correct it. We brought in the professionals. So I need to make sure that you all understand that we are doing all we possibly can to correct that problem. Now, the other problem we have about people in the building and using the space is something for another day and another conversation. Okay. Perhaps if I would have known as I know now, then we would have perhaps not even gone to the back of the old social service building. We would perhaps even had our administrative office in a part of that building providing. We've talked to the state, am I right, finance officer? And they told us what we could do in using that building. So I want you all to know we cross our T's and dot our I's. But that is a problem. The next item I want to discuss and make sure that you all know the internet. We're working really hard to make sure that we have internet from one end of the county to another. And we're making headways and making sure that it's done. It's just taking us some time, but that is a #1 issue in our county. And we want to say to you that Mr. Williams and Upper Coastal Plain and REA, others, they are making sure that we, they know the need, the urgency. They're doing all kinds of grants and so forth to see to it being done. There's something in the law that prohibits us from doing anything direct, but they can do it through grants and through allocations from the state. Our name is likewise in with the state when they close this session out. The monies is in there for internet for Northampton County. I want you all to know that too. So those two items we're working on to make sure. As I said to you, we met with the mayors of all of our towns and we had 100% representation. And it was an excellent meeting. We were trying to talk to them about how we can help them to even have a better town than what they have right now. I also want to report to you that the sheriff is the person responsible for the cameras. The cameras, we're ready. The sheriff says he'll have those up as soon as he get the permission from the light company about using their poles, something about the use of their poles. But as soon as they do what they need to do to get those permission, that we'll have cameras in the locations. We can't do that fast enough, and the sheriff understands how urgent this is because there's still too much crime in Northampton County, and the cameras is what's going to help us to help eradicate some of those problems. So I want you to know about those. In the midst of all of this that we have going on, there is some good news in our county. And the best news I heard was when one of my commissioners called me in the same region we're in. And you know, every meeting we have, we talk about 2 or 3 things, but two most important things we talk about is schools and we talk about economic development. Just want to tell y'all, it's what we talk about. For the last 2 years I've been to the meeting, and when you start talking about schools, I couldn't open my mouth. But I'm glad tonight I can open my mouth. And I don't care who lacks this or not. My love of life is education. I'm on this commission board, I'm doing the very best I can. But my love of life is education. For without education, where would I be? Without a degree, where would I be? where would I be? I'm here to tell you to get the news that Northampton County Schools you are not anymore in last place. And you can dress it up, fix it up any way you want. Last 5 years, Northampton County Schools have been last, 115. The state even stopped ranking them, so you had to go through now and rank them and see where they are. Anybody got any sense can do that. And now we've moved up 1, 2, 3 places. And one of my comrades called me and says, what you all doing over Northampton County? I said, we're educating children. I take my head off right now. 4 places. 4th place. Thank you. Thank you. I get so excited when I talk about education. Oh my God. Oh, now we can say to the citizens of Northampton County, where we are spending $800 to $1 million a year going to the charter school. Come on back to our public school called Northampton County Public Schools. Come back. If you going to Halifax County, why are you going? I got to call it. I don't care. It don't make no difference to me. Get mad. It's fine. You deciding to go to Halifax County. Why are you going to Halifax County now? We according to the test result, we're better. If you're going to Wheeler, why are you going to Wheeler? If you're going to Warren, why are you going to Warren? You can stay right here in Northampton County and receive equal education as well as you can in the other counties. Northampton County, Dr. Shamley, Board of Education staff, thank you. Thank you that I can go to the meetings with my head high, saying, look at where we are. Look at where we are. Now, I'm telling you right now, I know that somebody was saying there ain't nothing to brag about. It is for me. When you've been down the bottom for 5 years and then you come up, if you didn't come up with 1 place, fine. I don't like being last in nothing. I ran track. I didn't never come in first, but I was doggone if I ever came in last. Not last place. When I was a principal, it's challenged me every year to have our school, the school that I was principal in, not to be last in test results. And I want to commend our educational system. Thank you to the Board of Commissioners. I know it pains you a little because I said, let's give the Board of Education another $100,000 this past year. But what is $100,000 to our children getting a quality education? I challenge you to move us up. All of you who work with the board, to move us up, keep moving us up. Then people can come to Northampton County and we can say our schools are as good as the schools in this area. My hat's off to you. Anything that this Board of Commissioners, and I got some of them who work with the school system, can ever do to continue to move our children up educationally. Now, somebody tonight negative, saying, well, the test scores. I don't believe the test scores. I don't care whether you believe them or not. The state says it. Nationally, they're saying it. And what else do we go by? How do you measure the success of any school system other than the test score? At the end of the day, it don't matter do what they wear, according to me, the longest decent in order. It doesn't. But what makes a difference is whether our children learn, whether our children get a decent education. We got to be the best in this area if we're going to recruit anybody and keep people in our county. We're just talking about the loss of population. If we're going to keep them in our county, then we're going to have them have a quality education. I sung my song tonight. I feel good about it. I feel good about Northampton County. My heart is in Northampton County. I want us to succeed in Northampton County. And this got to be beyond my years of living. Where Northampton County going to be 20 years from now? Will we have to move to Rocky Mount? Will we have to move to Wake County? Will we have to move in order for our children to Greenville, Pitt County, in order for our children, in order for us to have a quality of life? No, we're going to do it in Northampton. Lord, keep breath in my body. We're going to move Northampton County Commissioners. We're going to move it because we care about it and we know the direction we want Northampton to go in. I'm just asking you all to continue to work, citizens, work with us. This ain't no name. This ain't no name. You can call it anything you like, but we ain't for no fame and for no glory. This is about doing what's right, and I'm going to do what's right. Friendship is one thing, business is another. And this is business. Running this county is business. Why I'm here, I don't know. I guess the good Lord put me here. But while I'm here, I'm going to do everything within my power. Everything within my power to do what's right. Thank you for listening to my sermon. But it's come from the heart. My heart is in Northampton. And anybody who want to do anything to bring us down, you're in the wrong place. You're in the wrong place, folks. Come on and let's join hands together. Child is lost. Families are lost. Crime. How are we going to solve it all? End this with this sermon. What was lost in the wheat field? They tried to find them. They went all night long, all day long, and couldn't find them. But you know what happened? Somebody had a great idea. He didn't have a PhD from Harvard either. He said, let us join hands together and let us walk this wheat field together. When they walked the wheat field, joined hands, they found it, baby. They found the child. When we walked together, there was nothing be lost between the cracks. And we can care for everybody, even for the least of them. Thank you. Thank you for listening. At this time, could we have a motion to please go into closed session unless a board member has another comment?
Make a motion, we go into closed session, General Statute 143, 318, 11A6 personnel, 11A3 attorney-client privilege, and 11A4 EDC report.
For the motion by our vice chair, did I get a second?
Second.
Move the proper second that we go into closed session. All in favor of known by you sign aye.
Faulkner.
Hi, Edwards.
Ayes have it, motion is carried. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening to us. We'll see you at our next board meeting. If you have a concern, please let us know. Thank you.